Here, I've been designing a novel social media application and researching its use with college alumni friends who were once co-located but now don't have the time or means to hang out as often, and still be able to engage in shared activities and experiences. Let me get into it. So while social networking sites, I'll call them, make it easier to keep awareness of distant friends' lives, we might posting on their Instagram profile about our new favorite brunch spot, or commenting like, wow, what a world traveler on a friend's vacation photo, or even sending a link or meme to a friend that they might appreciate. Social networking sites do little to support our direct engagement with one another through shared activities and experiences. They're focused more on individual lives. Yet when interactions, other social technologies provide avenues for us to engage more directly, but when the interactions are effortful to initiate and coordinate, it's harder to fit these times into our busy lives. Finding time to play online card games when everyone is together, or scheduling a video call. Those things don't always find the time with, especially with those friends that are distant. Instead, we consider what are opportunistic interactions. It's easy to see what these look like in person, whether it's bumping into some colleagues near the water cooler and sharing a coffee, or it's seeing an old friend at the local gym and being able to catch up. So to meet our need for direct engagement and to fit these desired interactions into our busy lives, this research is about opportunistic collective experiences, which are social experiences powered by computer programs that find these brief serendipitous moments for shared engagement across geographic distance. Let me tell you a little bit about how these work. So people go about their routines, like eating lunch at a park or walking near the water during sunset. Cerebro works by finding opportunities, really, that would normally go unnoticed as people go about their daily lives. Then, the person who is traveling during sunset, let's say, will be matched to the Sunset Together OCE and will be notified. People become available to participate as their situations arise, and a match in OC's interactional opportunity. And finally, once this person participates, a group of people who participate during sunset now have this opportune goal to create a beautiful photo collage or a time lapse of sunset pictures together. Now, what that looks like when we ran this with people was that people were able to create unique digital artifacts reflecting their unique situations. And these are more snapshots of what this kind of situational interaction digitally mediated, but within physical space kind of looks like. People, and this is so by actively taking a photo of the sunset with others who are doing the same. So before I talk about the user studies we did and how OCEs helped users, I want to describe some of the core contributions of this work. First, I want to describe some of the questions that drove the contributions in this work. First, how might designers conceptualize OCEs for opportunistic interactions for people at distance? Like what specific situations and activities would support distant people to engage in shared experiences and activities, socially bond as a group, or have more opportunities to interact? Once we have these concepts of OCEs, how might we implement them? Designed for a range of situation activities for friends to engage in. What characteristics, really, if we were programming an API, could concisely describe the range of interaction structures? Then, how might we execute OCEs to allow users to interact through them as situations arise? And really, the questions are, what kind of technical approaches would be needed to coordinate a set of distributed people to participate in OCEs in moments when their situations afford the opportunity? And finally, with this system and OCEs implemented, how would brief direct interactions in OCEs be uniquely valuable to the kind of interactions available on other social networking sites? So, with these questions in mind, our contributions followed. We conceptualized OCE interaction structures that promoted shared experiences and shared goals. Then we built Cerebro, a computational platform for implementing and executing OCEs. We've studied how OCE interactions are uniquely valuable as a way of connecting by deploying an iOS app for 2 weeks with college alumni. So, in our work in conceptualizing OCEs, it's really possible that they can be designed poorly, and OCEs may not promote shared experiences or goals. Imagine at distance, people getting pinged at the same time every morning. That could be an opportunity, a lightweight way to interact, but just the time of day that people are notified could be underwhelming if really the situation they participate in have little in common. Participating at 3 o'clock in the afternoon might not mean a lot in terms of commonality between two people. And in addition, participating might not utilize the full pieces of one's surroundings. And so there wouldn't be really anything salient that connects two people's situations. Thus, we conceptualize OCEs to really highlight shared experiences and shared goals. Through shared experiences, we focused on 2 interaction structures by 1, shared situational context of users at the same time, and shared situational context for users across time. You can imagine designing these. Secondly, shared context through shared goals. People contribute uniquely through their situations, or they build off of each other's participation through individual situations. Implementing OCEs are non-trivial as well. It's very easy to write lots of code when encoding these types of interaction structures. Can you imagine trying to write a full mobile app that could recognize these shared experiences and facilitate an activity like participating in a parkour challenge? No. So thus, our API focuses on high-level interaction structures, and these types of low-level coordination details about situations and how the experiences progress are handled by our supporting backend. Here's an example of our API. For one situation, users are sharing their context across time. This is the code then for a completely different experience, which is multiple people contributing from a park which has benches and a place that has rainy weather where there's puddles, and all these situations afford kind of active physical challenges that people can complete as part of a parkour challenge experience. The code is simple, JSON. Executing OCEs For executing OCEs, a system designed, there could also be challenges, as a system designed without capabilities to identify changing situations and match participants could not support this type of interaction model. Prior work in the domain of crowd programming languages, for example, largely assume tasks can be assigned to people on demand and don't have capabilities, these aforementioned capabilities. That assumption is broken when people, as interactional resources, are not in the required situations. Opportunistic coordination engine maps users to interaction opportunities. Our engine monitors user situations, and key to this, they identify the interactional opportunities and notify users about them. Users might submit a photo as part of, or add a sentence to a story, and that user participation as part of an OCE progresses the state. Now, with the technical foundations for how OCEs work, we wanted to investigate how brief direct interactions in OCEs are then uniquely valuable to interactions on other social networking sites. We hypothesized that they would better support a feeling that others are having similar experiences and engaging in shared activities, as well as a higher sense of being part of a group with others. These are compared to things like posting to a feed and liking or commenting on posts, or in a social networking site, receiving content from others where they mention or message you directly. To study this, we recruited 40 college alumni who used to belong to student organizations and who desired to reconnect with those people. We deployed this iOS app over 2 weeks and allowed people to use Cerebro when they are able and available. We collected data through a post survey. The data collected included both quantitative survey results, asking, for example, how much users felt they had similar experiences with others when interacting on Cerebro, and then asking a similar question, but for how a medium like Facebook and posting content and receiving reacts or comments could make them feel they have similar experiences. What we found was that OCs promote a greater feeling of shared experiences and activities. People rated Cerebro higher on these scales, and the difference between Cerebro and likes and comments on posts was significantly greater than 0. And the difference between Cerebro and direct messaging was also significantly different. When we asked participants about these experiences, people found them to be distinct because the timing made people contribute when people were in similar situations, and which promoted a feeling of doing something together that was similar. One user noted, people are doing similar things on Cerebro rather than using it to communicate with each other, as is common on other social networking sites. So you feel like someone else is with you. Thank you.